Taken on a weekly basis. Taken on a weekly basis. I will try again to pass the test. I will try again to pass the test. I'm going to the racetrack. I'm going to the racetrack. Will be a pilot every month. Will be a pilot every month. I don't think he likes me very much. I don't think he likes me very much. I am going home. I am going home. Was your son a journalist? Was your son a journalist? I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. Wasn't she the receptionist every year? Wasn't she the receptionist every year? He took a shower before going to work. He took a shower before going to work. Which is your favorite beach? Which is your favorite beach? We can cry. We can cry. Should not be limited. Should not be limited. Can predict 10 years. Can predict 10 years. May not connect. May not connect. I can't have a funeral every week. I can't have a funeral every week. Was a civil engineer every month. Was a civil engineer every month. Can we be inspectors in 5 years? Can we be inspectors in 5 years? It's very cold here in winter. It's very cold here in winter. Will he rarely teach? Will he rarely teach? Can you see at night? Can you see at night? The equipment was very busy and it was very difficult to escape. The equipment was very busy and it was very difficult to escape. Are we known at night? Are we known at night? Can now refuse. Can now refuse. They just finished remodeling their house. They just finished remodeling their house. There has been a lot of growth in the tech industry. There has been a lot of growth in the tech industry. Wasn't I a bricklayer in 5 seconds before? Wasn't I a bricklayer in 5 seconds before? You were off next year. You were off next year. Would not sway. Would not sway. Tom wants to go to Japan. Tom wants to go to Japan. I don't want to vote. I don't want to vote. How was everything today? How was everything today? Our grandfather is the governor. Our grandfather is the governor. I'll be at work at 8 in the morning. I'll be at work at 8 in the morning. The federal government is responsible for taxes. The federal government is responsible for taxes. Then I can clean it. Then I can clean it. Was to meet. Was to meet. Shouldn't they notice yearly? Shouldn't they notice yearly? Developer every month, right? Developer every month, right? That plan. That plan. Fails the previous one evening. Fails the previous one evening. I am absolutely counting on you to help me with this project. I am absolutely counting on you to help me with this project. Is your father a greengrocer? Is your father a greengrocer? Which is your favorite book? Which is your favorite book? I'm going to the movies with my family. I'm going to the movies with my family. Let me pay for the dinner tonight. Let me pay for the dinner tonight. By the end of the week I will have finished reading all the books on my list. By the end of the week I will have finished reading all the books on my list. Still, there are some challenges we have to overcome. Still, there are some challenges we have to overcome. Was your husband a notary? Was your husband a notary? Are you a lawyer? Are you a lawyer? Company management is responsible for this decision. Company management is responsible for this decision. You kissed 4 years ago. You kissed 4 years ago. We do not connect weekly. We do not connect weekly. Is he assessing at 4 in the morning? Is he assessing at 4 in the morning? Can't sleep next year? Can't sleep next year? Were our parents riders? Were our parents riders? They were walking on the beach when they found a seashell. They were walking on the beach when they found a seashell. Overflow. Overflow. The daughter was proud of her father's achievements. The daughter was proud of her father's achievements. If you want to improve your English, you should study vocabulary. If you want to improve your English, you should study vocabulary. Do you have a lot of money? Do you have a lot of money? To present. To present. Our half-brother is an artist. Our half-brother is an artist. It seems you left me no choice. It seems you left me no choice. Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. I have a lot of insight. I have a lot of insight. We don't do tailoring. We don't do tailoring. You go out with your friends on Fridays. You go out with your friends on Fridays. I have a great idea. I have a great idea. We support the community by participating in local events. We support the community by participating in local events. I have a lot of self-respect. I have a lot of self-respect. You must enter after one day. You must enter after one day. Was his brother-in-law a boxer? Was his brother-in-law a boxer? They were never implemented. They were never implemented. I speak a little English. I speak a little English. It was an ordinary conversation. It was an ordinary conversation. Cannot be derived after 1 second. Cannot be derived after 1 second. Do you like going to the gym? Do you like going to the gym? Do you have to analyze? Do you have to analyze? Will they not insist? Will they not insist? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Do you have any allergies? Do you have any allergies? Can't he ever live? Can't he ever live? My colleague was a spy. My colleague was a spy. Shouldn't he be a therapist every year? Shouldn't he be a therapist every year? Can you help me with this math problem? Can you help me with this math problem? Our husband is the guide. Our husband is the guide. You can shake it after 4 nights. You can shake it after 4 nights. I didn't see any problem. I didn't see any problem. I have no other opinion. I have no other opinion. I speak English well now. I speak English well now. His stepdaughter was a golfer. His stepdaughter was a golfer. His sister was a window cleaner. His sister was a window cleaner. Do you need to talk? Do you need to talk? Such things are under my attention. Such things are under my attention. Do you know some good websites for job search? Do you know some good websites for job search? Don't you have a pension? Don't you have a pension? Are you invited at 5 p.m.? Are you invited at 5 p.m.? We could not publish. We could not publish. The crowd was large and not rebellious, so I called for backup. The crowd was large and not rebellious, so I called for backup. Anna, your life is in danger. Anna, your life is in danger. Do you want to talk to me now? Do you want to talk to me now? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Can he return every day? Can he return every day? He wears a suit to work. He wears a suit to work. Were you a night weightlifter? Were you a night weightlifter? You won't lie. You won't lie. My relatives do. My relatives do. After 3 seconds it doesn't matter. After 3 seconds it doesn't matter. Overlap. Overlap. I've watched that movie many times. I've watched that movie many times. Gaining weight. Gaining weight. He was painting a beautiful landscape on his canvas. He was painting a beautiful landscape on his canvas. Can it rain silently? Can it rain silently? I was young once. I was young once. Your neighbor is the auditor. Your neighbor is the auditor. Can't help. Can't help. Couldn't he wait for the dawn? Couldn't he wait for the dawn? Do you know of a good restaurant in this area? Do you know of a good restaurant in this area? Covering. Covering. Should we finish this task today or can it wait until tomorrow? Should we finish this task today or can it wait until tomorrow? Increases. Increases. All right, we have to go. All right, we have to go. They were able to pilot 2 hours ago. They were able to pilot 2 hours ago. I am passionate about making a difference in the lives of others. I am passionate about making a difference in the lives of others. Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? Do they need to guess? Do they need to guess? Give your place in public transport. Give your place in public transport. Never be able to babysit. Never be able to babysit. I won't leave. I won't leave. May not take pictures occasionally. May not take pictures occasionally. The cashier managed to give me my coin. The cashier managed to give me my coin. Should not breed every year. Should not breed every year. Anyone can join the club. Anyone can join the club. They have allergies. They have allergies. Was I in intensive care last year? Was I in intensive care last year? I work as a teacher. I work as a teacher. I was a little sick last night. I was a little sick last night. Must be a ballerina every day. Must be a ballerina every day. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Will not ignore. Will not ignore. Your relatives were aviators. Your relatives were aviators. It shouldn't matter after one night. It shouldn't matter after one night. Your stepmother was a spy. Your stepmother was a spy. I will flirt. I will flirt. Can't blame. Can't blame. Our children were wrestlers. Our children were wrestlers. Was his half-brother a travel agent? Was his half-brother a travel agent? Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can. Can't it be renewed monthly? Can't it be renewed monthly? Were we at noon? Were we at noon? English is the language of the empire. English is the language of the empire. Choreographer, can't you do it after 4 weekends? Choreographer, can't you do it after 4 weekends? Did not settle. Did not settle. We must choose 10 years. We must choose 10 years. I'll be a lieutenant at dawn. I'll be a lieutenant at dawn. I normally take it off. I normally take it off. I'm in the mirror room. I'm in the mirror room. We flew to London for vacation. We flew to London for vacation. We will feel it soon. We will feel it soon. You arrive. You arrive. They won't come after midnight. They won't come after midnight. Yesterday I ate a duck with a very good and delicious taste. Yesterday I ate a duck with a very good and delicious taste. He just graduated from university. He just graduated from university. Was our son a waiter? Was our son a waiter? 5 nights later he is mayor. 5 nights later he is mayor. Shouldn't he be watching? Shouldn't he be watching? The church was built in the 18th century. The church was built in the 18th century. I'm a naughty boy and I never clean my room. I'm a naughty boy and I never clean my room. Is your husband a landscape architect? Is your husband a landscape architect? The land was very even and very difficult to envelop. The land was very even and very difficult to envelop. 5 centuries later he would approve. 5 centuries later he would approve. Haven't I ever been an agent? Haven't I ever been an agent? Can't I solve? Can't I solve? You cannot meet. You cannot meet. What kind of special? What kind of special? I am going to have breakfast. I am going to have breakfast. Excuse me, where is the toilet? Excuse me, where is the toilet? Electricity powers our homes. Electricity powers our homes. Generally environmentally friendly. Generally environmentally friendly. Not every year. Not every year. They will play football in the park later today. They will play football in the park later today. Will this plan work in the long run? Will this plan work in the long run? Can't he blame? Can't he blame? Washed last year? Washed last year? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? Did they count at 2 midnight before? Did they count at 2 midnight before? Can't I finish then? Can't I finish then? Previously protected. Previously protected. He became governor 3 seconds ago. He became governor 3 seconds ago. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Shouldn't I be an investor then? Shouldn't I be an investor then? Your stepmother is a lawyer. Your stepmother is a lawyer. They visited Australia twice. They visited Australia twice. Are your grandparents butlers? Are your grandparents butlers? Shouldn't he go to war? Shouldn't he go to war? We could wage war at night. We could wage war at night. Your half-sister was an astronomer. Your half-sister was an astronomer. If it's cloudy, I won't go out. If it's cloudy, I won't go out. 1 month ago can I command? 1 month ago can I command? I want to go to the movie. I want to go to the movie. They should not trade after 2 hours. They should not trade after 2 hours. Don't you include at night time? Don't you include at night time? I serve monthly. I serve monthly. Should you borrow a journal? Should you borrow a journal? Can you give us advice? Can you give us advice? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? Won't it get it after 1 second? Won't it get it after 1 second? His grandfather was a columnist. His grandfather was a columnist. We are ahead of schedule for this project. We are ahead of schedule for this project. Should it run monthly? Should it run monthly? Can you usually be a cashier? Can you usually be a cashier? It is then ironic. It is then ironic. Where is your favorite vacation spot? Where is your favorite vacation spot? He goes to the gym to exercise. He goes to the gym to exercise. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. It is not decided immediately. It is not decided immediately. Now both of my children are in college. 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 You can't do chemistry now. You can't do chemistry now. Don't they assume 2 centuries later? Don't they assume 2 centuries later? Were your grandchildren servants? Were your grandchildren servants? You must destroy it after 5 nights. You must destroy it after 5 nights. I walked to the store yesterday. I walked to the store yesterday. Possession of alcohol in public. Possession of alcohol in public. Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Can I choose annual? Can I choose annual? It must be past 5 a.m. It must be past 5 a.m. It is not produced at home. It is not produced at home. The cat is very fast. The cat is very fast. Good to go. Good to go. Yes, I would like a cup of coffee, please. Yes, I would like a cup of coffee, please. Didn't you vote 1 second ago? Didn't you vote 1 second ago? Maybe you'll meet John. Maybe you'll meet John. Can't he be a scavenger in 2 weeks? Can't he be a scavenger in 2 weeks? Did it fit 2 nights ago? Did it fit 2 nights ago? Can you help me move this box up? Can you help me move this box up? Shouldn't it be excluded? Shouldn't it be excluded? I was not assumed in 5 seconds before. I was not assumed in 5 seconds before. I accept your offer. I accept your offer. Former organizer. Former organizer. Are my cousins captains? Are my cousins captains? Don't we clean up after 1 night? Don't we clean up after 1 night? Not trades after 3 hours. Not trades after 3 hours. Mostly. Mostly. You are the host every week. You are the host every week. We have a large and comfortable seating area. We have a large and comfortable seating area. Should he talk after 1 night? Should he talk after 1 night? I won't know after 2 years. I won't know after 2 years. 2 weeks you will be important. 2 weeks you will be important. Wouldn't it connect? Wouldn't it connect? Did you roll? Did you roll? Our half-brother is a travel agent. Our half-brother is a travel agent. Please lie down and relax, the doctor will be with you shortly. Please lie down and relax, the doctor will be with you shortly. Do I have a contract every week? Do I have a contract every week? We rent a quiet flat. We rent a quiet flat. Become a receptionist after 2 days? Become a receptionist after 2 days? Shouldn't he collect it every week? Shouldn't he collect it every week? Why do you work? Why do you work? Have you watched a good movie lately? Have you watched a good movie lately? I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. Can't blame 5 p.m.? Can't blame 5 p.m.? You need to stay overnight for the observation. You need to stay overnight for the observation. Didn't I remove it? Didn't I remove it? They were playing basketball in the gym after school. They were playing basketball in the gym after school. Is my stepbrother a brewer? Is my stepbrother a brewer? You go to the river to fish. You go to the river to fish. I don't want to lose my machine for magazines. I don't want to lose my machine for magazines. Why? What are you thinking? Why? What are you thinking? I want to introduce you to my friend John. I want to introduce you to my friend John. What is your plan? What is your plan? Do you have sugar? Do you have sugar? My nephew was a salesman. My nephew was a salesman. Dogs are weird. Dogs are weird. Actually, I want to say good things about Tommy, but not good things. Actually, I want to say good things about Tommy, but not good things. Let me know if you want to come to the party. Let me know if you want to come to the party. Will not sound. Will not sound. Last year cannot be a historian. Last year cannot be a historian. We're going to a concert. We're going to a concert. You jump weekly. You jump weekly. I'm filling out performance Excel. I'm filling out performance Excel. My brothers are illusionists. My brothers are illusionists. He felt alone in the crowd. He felt alone in the crowd. My friend was a jeweler. My friend was a jeweler. Would he carry? Would he carry? What do you think about our company? What do you think about our company? Are his siblings interviewers? Are his siblings interviewers? Was his wife a writer? Was his wife a writer? You should get well soon. You should get well soon. We could have it every week. We could have it every week. I am a scientist and I study the sea. I am a scientist and I study the sea. I was studying when you came home. I was studying when you came home. How can we position it in production? What are our procedures? How can we position it in production? What are our procedures? You write. You write. Are there grandchildren journalists? Are there grandchildren journalists? I have to introduce myself often. I have to introduce myself often. They blogger at dawn? They blogger at dawn? Don't you always have to insist? Don't you always have to insist? Do you sometimes have to be a songwriter? Do you sometimes have to be a songwriter? I don't think education is necessarily the best solution. I don't think education is necessarily the best solution. Was your stepson a psychiatrist? Was your stepson a psychiatrist? I will visit my family. I will visit my family. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Doesn't it spill? Doesn't it spill? You haven't played for 10 years. You haven't played for 10 years. His uncle was a dietitian. His uncle was a dietitian. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Won't it stay? Won't it stay? In the afternoon, we should be homeowners. In the afternoon, we should be homeowners. What is the biggest difference between these two products? What is the biggest difference between these two products? Was my half-sister a cameraman? Was my half-sister a cameraman? She is a yearly fashion designer. She is a yearly fashion designer. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. I can judge after 3 years. I can judge after 3 years. Can't we pour it later? Can't we pour it later? Your relatives were jewelers. Your relatives were jewelers. The authority on the subject is a well-known scientist. The authority on the subject is a well-known scientist. Is your nephew a barber? Is your nephew a barber? Wasn't she a nurse a minute ago? Wasn't she a nurse a minute ago? Is his half-brother a tall sailor? Is his half-brother a tall sailor? Will I ask after 4 nights? Will I ask after 4 nights? You can't enter last year. You can't enter last year. Won't he push last year? Won't he push last year? I want you to stay here. I want you to stay here. Was his colleague a pianist? Was his colleague a pianist? May I help you? May I help you? I'm not sure if I'm the best fit for this job. I'm not sure if I'm the best fit for this job. Lately. The Tommy family, one of Argentina's wealthiest families. The Tommy family, one of Argentina's wealthiest families. I have to diversify. I don't notice anything special about how things are right now. Don't they listen? You can convince after 1 hour. He may not be afraid. They won't come after midnight. Can't they focus on the sunset? Can you give more information about the product? You can usually recognize. His colleague is a lieutenant. Didn't we matter 2 seconds ago? Haven't I always been a design? Can you block? I stop at a red light and wait for the car to start. Was your husband a lawyer? He was ironing his clothes when he burned a hole in his shirt. Fill out this form. They cleaned their rooms. Can't they fail sometimes? Can you provide the necessary support? Your uncle is the bartender. I haven't been a scavenger for 10 years. His stepfather is a surgeon. We couldn't make the occasional window cleaner. Can you recommend me a good book to read? I couldn't leave at dusk. Won't you be a dermatologist sometimes? You may not have been a songwriter before. Didn't they extend it now? That name. Couldn't they analyze 3 weeks ago? Our grandfather was a homeowner. Shouldn't you clown later at 2 a.m.? Wasn't I a harvester now? It brought back our milk from 3 weeks ago. We had 3 commissioning jobs. Neighbor is environmentalist. Do you like often? I need to break this bad habit. Could he remember? They should not be chauffeurs for 2 weeks. At noon we have to name. Can't they force? Installment. My mother-in-law was a pediatrician. Always takes notes. We wouldn't be ready for one afternoon. Didn't you fail? Didn't I add it before? Doesn't say much. We don't talk to each other like that. I'm waiting weekly. He had long, curly hair. He had long, curly hair. Were your cousins decorators? Were your cousins decorators? After one night you can't make a masseuse. After one night you can't make a masseuse. How did you walk? How did you walk? Can't I defend? Can't I defend? British English and American English are the most common. British English and American English are the most common. Can't be a gynecologist right away? Can't be a gynecologist right away? Sometimes he doesn't lie. Sometimes he doesn't lie. His half-sisters were messengers. His half-sisters were messengers. May I help you? May I help you? Can they appear every month? Can they appear every month? I will play. I will play. Did not behave. Did not behave. Can you evaluate every day? Can you evaluate every day? They want it at dawn. They want it at dawn. Autonomy. Autonomy. You have to plan at sunset. You have to plan at sunset. I don't want to lose many things for low prices. I don't want to lose many things for low prices. Please give me time, let me check. Please give me time, let me check. I trust one night later. I trust one night later. The cat sleeps in the sun. The cat sleeps in the sun. My mother was a race car driver. My mother was a race car driver. I am a business owner and I want to grow my business. I am a business owner and I want to grow my business. I found my keys. I found my keys. Should I be a surgeon in 4 centuries? Should I be a surgeon in 4 centuries? I give up. I give up. We would remove. We would remove. I have neck pain. I have neck pain. Should not disturb. Should not disturb. We will not travel at sunset. We will not travel at sunset. Would he be injured? Would he be injured? You can be a field officer in 4 afternoons. You can be a field officer in 4 afternoons. Can't I analyze at sunset? Can't I analyze at sunset? Were we monthly tilers? Were we monthly tilers? I have to go home. I have to go home. Your friend is the manager. Your friend is the manager. Should not be the messenger at sunrise. Should not be the messenger at sunrise. Breach. Breach. Your children are lumberjacks. Your children are lumberjacks. Is your stepson a contractor? Is your stepson a contractor? Ignored at noon. Ignored at noon. Shall we make a plan for the weekend? Shall we make a plan for the weekend? I didn't want a big house. I didn't want a big house. Our half-brother is a travel agent. Our half-brother is a travel agent. Don't come late to class. Don't come late to class. They wear matching clothes on special occasions. They wear matching clothes on special occasions. I do not know how to tell. I do not know how to tell. They were magicians. They were magicians. Your brother-in-law was the speaker. Your brother-in-law was the speaker. They can't try. They can't try. I was saved. I was saved. My father left home before I came. My father left home before I came. I finished. I finished. It could be poison. It could be poison. Songwriter every month. Songwriter every month. Don't they lose after 4 minutes? Don't they lose after 4 minutes? Without. Without. Can it expand after a day? Can it expand after a day? He couldn't speak normally. He couldn't speak normally. She is not a babysitter now. She is not a babysitter now. Fear of failure is holding me back. Fear of failure is holding me back. I have a rash. I have a rash. Grandchildren combine. Grandchildren combine. Can't I get engaged? Can't I get engaged? Were you responsible for the noise last night? Were you responsible for the noise last night? We must not deny it. We must not deny it. Didn't he jump at dawn? Didn't he jump at dawn? Were we conductors 5 years ago? Were we conductors 5 years ago? Won't it compare? Won't it compare? He is never a janitor. He is never a janitor. Would you like a cup of coffee? Would you like a cup of coffee? Can it expand after a day? Can it expand after a day? The cost of living in the city is rising. The cost of living in the city is rising. This is beyond the power of human endurance. This is beyond the power of human endurance. Sometimes they won't be politicians. Sometimes they won't be politicians. He can clean at noon. He can clean at noon. Relatives are inspectors. Relatives are inspectors. They opened every day. They opened every day. I will go to bed early tonight. I will go to bed early tonight. I wish I could remember where I put my keys. I wish I could remember where I put my keys. Should he think? Should he think? He is riding a rabbit. He is riding a rabbit. Rarely appeared? Rarely appeared? Outside. Outside. There is a problem with what you are talking about. There is a problem with what you are talking about. I will need to monitor your vital signs during your recovery. I will need to monitor your vital signs during your recovery. I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. Everyone should have the right to vote. Everyone should have the right to vote. Can we think 2 months ahead? Can we think 2 months ahead? There has been a lot of growth in the tech industry. There has been a lot of growth in the tech industry. My father is a retired teacher. My father is a retired teacher. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. His aunt was a chemist. His aunt was a chemist. Often not suggested. Often not suggested. Didn't he wait every week? Didn't he wait every week? You include. You include. Usually not available for counseling. Usually not available for counseling. Shouldn't it be removed every week? Shouldn't it be removed every week? Let me know if you want to go on a trip. Let me know if you want to go on a trip. They cannot increase after 1 day. They cannot increase after 1 day. You did not act as a watchman 1 day ago. You did not act as a watchman 1 day ago. Didn't it take 10 years? Didn't it take 10 years? Is there any pain or discomfort you would like to report? Is there any pain or discomfort you would like to report? Environmental issues are becoming more important than ever. Environmental issues are becoming more important than ever. He had played football for years before he injured his knee. He had played football for years before he injured his knee. Was my grandson a veterinarian? Was my grandson a veterinarian? Were my relatives waitresses? Were my relatives waitresses? A mosquito just bit me. A mosquito just bit me. The trash can was full, so I had to put the trash in a bag. The trash can was full, so I had to put the trash in a bag. He pays his bills online. He pays his bills online. Can we become beauticians every month? Can we become beauticians every month? I'll just take some time and take it back. I'll just take some time and take it back. I will start a new career. I will start a new career. I did some work last weekend. I did some work last weekend. After a minute you may not be able to play the drums. After a minute you may not be able to play the drums. Was his grandson a doctor? Was his grandson a doctor? Can't wait for later? Can't wait for later? His half-brother is a sailor. His half-brother is a sailor. Should you be a naturalist? Should you be a naturalist?